contraseña a nivel pro al cielo. Sé que algo oculta pero no sé qué es, yeah. Oiga señorita, quisiera decirle solo una cosita, que mi corazón todavía palpita. Aquí no lo dañes, que ahí es donde tú habitas, tú no estás de visita. Ella sabe que sin montar que tenga mejor nada, la lealtad es algo que ella no aprecia, no le interesa nada de nada. Ella sabe.
I'm like 1 minute late. People are like, Luke's late.
A tu manera y solitico nos dañamos el corazón. Duele bien cabrón, pero no importa, ya no vale la pena. Ella sabe que sin montar que tenga mejor nada, la lealtad es algo que ella no aprecia, no le interesa nada de nada. Ella sabe que sin montar que tenga mejor nada, la lealtad es algo que ella no aprecia, no le interesa nada de nada.
Not sure how to make this work, but you know that I got you. I just need you by my side. Will you be mine? Can't get away from you, even if I wanted to. I'ma be so good to you. You and I will see this through. Baby, I need you more than you need me, yeah. Feels like we're popping now. Changes, they're stopping now. I can't stop thinking about you. Hope you never ever leave from my side. I can't stop thinking about you.
Yes, that was Orange. Indeed, Matthew. Well done.
I see the fire in your eyes. I can't stop thinking about you.
You can tell by the look of absolute emptiness in his eyes.
Oh na 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 yeah. I can feel the rush. Oh na 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 yeah. I know how to make you smile, so I'ma keep you from frowning. I hope that we got enough time, 'cause you're so fine. Baby, I need you more than you need me, yeah. Feels like we're popping now. Changes, they're stopping now. I can't stop thinking about you. Hope you never ever leave from my side. I can't stop thinking about you. Hope you never ever leave. You killed the lies, we come to life. I see the fire in your eyes. I can't stop thinking about you. Hope you never ever leave. When you say my name, oh na 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 yeah. I can feel the rush. Oh na 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 yeah. When you say my name, oh na 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 yeah. I can feel the rush. Oh na 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 yeah. Right next to you, you make me forget.
One last slurp.
Bad things will make it shine. Don't need to fake it. Oh yeah, baby, I need you more than you need me.
All right, rock and roll. Let's do this. It's live stream time. Woo! All right, ladies and gentlemen, due to popular demand, tonight we're going to be creating factions, guilds, organizations, groups, whatever you want to call them. Because it has been a request I've seen several times from folks, and I have put it off and ignored them and pish-poshed it away. But now, we're actually going to do it. So, we've never done this before. I have some cool... I have like a cool little template that we're going to be using here. Boom, right there. Oh my gosh. He has timed this perfectly. You guys, look at this. Look at Orange. He's like a little Buddha, you know? Look at his belly. Look at that big bald belly. You guys, this is what I'm talking about right here. Oh my gosh. Orange. He just derailed the live stream. I had an introduction, I had show notes to go over and everything. And he's sitting right here, just going to town. This is why his belly is bald. Kitty blubber. It's because, dude, this is all he does. He licks his belly constantly. His belly is bald, his feet are bald. It's crazy. Penguin butt, what's going on? How you doing? Oh my gosh. The description is wrong, Dito. Well, I might just go change that while you guys are all observing Orange. Orange is putting on a show tonight. Oh, okay. Free magic items. So we'll change that to guilds and factions. There we go. All right, updated it. Thank you, sir. Fixed. Look at this guy. Okay, anyway. So tonight we're going to be creating factions, guilds, and stuff like that. And he is now realized that he's on camera, and so he is taking off. You guys, as always, everything that we create together is going to be available over on my website, thedmlair.com. You guys can get the stuff for free, using your own games and all that kind of cool stuff. So, don't forget to, I am now streaming on Twitch Mondays and Wednesdays around 6 p.m. Eastern US time. Mondays we usually just chill, hang out, and talk. And then Wednesdays I've been painting miniatures. So I'm not exceptionally good. I don't totally suck. Might be interesting if you want to come hang out with us. So yeah, that's the story. We're gonna do some Q&A at the very beginning here. So if you got questions, drop them in the chat. Hashtag all caps question mark if you would, so I can actually see the questions. And then moderators, I'm gonna pull up the spreadsheet now. I forgot to pull it up. Dun, dun, dun. Please don't spam. Spamming gets you. Can we mute? I forget. What's the difference between Twitch and YouTube? Do we mute people on YouTube? I think they get muted. Spammers die. Don't spam. The better the question you ask, the better your chances of getting it answered too. If the question is like, what's your favorite class? I'm just gonna be like, Paladin, thank you, goodbye. Depending on my perspective. Alright, what's today? Today's April 8th? April 8th. May 8th. No, it's May 8th. Alright, cool. Have you played any of the tales? I don't know what the tales are. How much do you make from live streams, Dito? Why, man? You want to cut? Dito's like, I go to all of your live streams, dude. I want to cut. I don't think you could actually, like... It's hard. YouTube won't... Like, so the way that you... It's like, if you're looking at just principally, like, YouTube money, and what YouTube pays you, so there are two ways you get money off from YouTube directly. That's the ad revenue, and then memberships. And they tell me how much I get from memberships. They don't really tell me, as far as the ad revenue goes, dude, like, ad revenue is based upon, like, you know, impressions and clicks. So, like, if an impression for, like, an advertisement that somebody sees, and then a click on an advertisement. And all of that is based upon, like, number of views and watch time and stuff like that. So I don't know what the breakdown is between my normal videos and my live streams as far as like that goes. So I don't know the exact answer to that question. My favorite D&D setting, Bayo. Hey, how you doing, Bayo? How you doing, buddy? I grew up reading Forgotten Realms, so like Forgotten Realms is my favorite. I played Dungeons and Dragons Online DDO for years, and that is set in Eberron, and I liked Eberron too. There's no real reason. It's not like I can point to something and be like, this is why I like it. It's just that's what I grew up playing, and so I like it. It's not like a super good reason. It just is. Somebody asked me what my pet peeves are when gaming with other people. Ravenwolf says, "What are some of your pet peeves when GMing with players?" I am pretty tolerant, dude, of like quirks and stuff. Like, I've played with a wide variety of players with different personalities and eccentricities. Is that a word? So I'm pretty cool with most of it. Like the pet, but you're particularly asking about a pet peeve. The guy who argues with me. That's my pet peeve. Is it my pet peeve or is it just piss me off? I don't know. You pick. The dude who wants to argue with me. It's like, dude, like, ask my players. I will listen to their side of things. I will listen to their reasons for things, and we could have a conversation. But once I've made a ruling, it's time to move on. It's not time to keep on arguing. That's the point where I'm just gonna get pissed off. That is my number one thing. The number one thing, for sure, is that. Orange is back there rolling around. Do you see him? You can see him like right by my workbench. Do you guys see him? Like right there. He was just rolling around. Dig, 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 dig. He's all like affectionate right now. What's a module I really want to DM? Right now, Curse of Strahd, because I'm about ready to run that for my Sword Coast Guard group. What I actually like to do is I like to pull adventures from all the different modules and offer them as plot hooks to my players. So this is what I do right now to my Youngling group. I will take 3 different adventures, one from Salt Marsh, one from Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and one from Curse of Strahd, let's say. And I will offer all 3 of these as plot hooks to my players. You got to go do this, this, or this, or it's like here's the problem that needs to be resolved, and here's the reward, and here are 3 options, and you guys can pick the one you want to do. And then they pick this one here from like Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Well, then I go off and I prepare that one from Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and then I run that. That's what I'm currently. That is more and more what I'm kind of leaning toward, running that alongside the Acquisitions Incorporated model of a game, because it works super, super well. You're not confined to only running things from the module. You have freedom and flexibility. You don't have to follow this one plot line. You might not like it, but having more options from different modules with different themes and stuff, different, like Ghost of Salt Marsh is like, it's not really sea-based. It's more like coastal-based, I guess. Mostly on land, anyway. And then Dungeon of the Mad Mage, big, huge, awesome levels with lots of plot and factions going on. It's lots of good stuff in there. Nutty Fudkin says, how do you make your players not mad if they get taken prisoner and their magic items get taken? That's the setup, dude. It's the, hey Chris, thanks for the $3 super chat. Appreciate that, buddy. That's the setup, dude. The way to not make them mad is that, like, there needs to be a shared understanding that is the quest. It is an escape quest. This is the scenario. You're taken prisoner. Your stuff was taken away from you. Now you're in a jail cell, and you have to figure out how to escape. You have to figure out how to get your stuff back. That is the scenario. That is the adventure, and that is a type of scenario. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if it happens like all the time, then it's gonna get old, right? You can't always save your players from death by taking them captive. Sometimes you just gotta kill them. They should be less reckless. If every time they get in trouble, they're taken captive instead of just being killed, you know, and then they're allowed to, then all their stuff's taken away, they're allowed to try to escape and stuff, well, then your players are just like, oh, we could just do whatever. We're always just gonna get taken captive. Sometimes you just gotta, like, and then they'll learn from that. Robert says, if you would do a gritty campaign, do you lower the cost of things so you don't have to get them super much gold? If I were doing a gritty campaign, I would not lower the cost of things. I would increase the cost of things. The whole idea of a gritty campaign is that it's more difficult and it's tougher. So I would do the opposite of that. I would increase the cost of things, or I would make them less available, or I'd give them less gold. Like Curse of Strahd literally says in the module that anything 50 gold pieces and above is not available. And then, or it says that it's like not available. And then under 50 gold pieces is available, but it's like 4 times as much. At least in the one village, the first village or something. So that's a gritty campaign. Things aren't available, and the ones that are more expensive. Fiend, what up, dude? How you doing? El Resu, hello. Do you know a good system for weapon breaking? Nope, I sure don't. I'd homebrew something. Make it reasonable, though. Like, if you gotta play test it a little bit, you know, and you gotta work with your players, because if you come up with a homebrew system for weapons breaking after use and stuff, if weapons break too much, then players are not going to be happy. That sort of mechanic fits best in a gritty campaign, not like a high magic swords and sorcery campaign. Play test it. And if your players seem upset and they're complaining, then they're probably breaking too frequently, or it's becoming too big of a pain in the butt. Not everybody enjoys having to deal with those sort of mechanics. It could just be that this is a really big pain in the butt. Like it's like encumbrance and inventory. Like I once had a dungeon master who told us, "I'm going to keep track of your encumbrance. Like we need to keep track of how much you're carrying. Everybody needs to track your encumbrance." And we were playing in person on paper, and so we all had to like add up our weight and keep track of our weight and stuff. And it was tedious, and like I didn't want to do it. It had nothing to do with the fact that I wanted to carry more than I was supposed to. It had nothing to do with that. It simply had to do with the fact that it was a pain in the butt and that it wasn't fun. So there's an element to running a game where you want things to. There's a fine line to walk between things being realistic and things being fun, right? And any game mechanic that you have has to walk that line. Realism and fun. There are lots of things in 5th edition and RPGs in general that are not realistic at all. But if we were to make something super realistic, it would have tons of game rules, right? And then it would probably not be fun for a lot of people, except for the small niche players who love all of those details and would love to sit there for an hour figuring out like this, you know, I don't know, how to put their boots on according to the game mechanics. Rules for putting your boots on or something. So there's a balance to be walked there. It's probably different for every table, every group of players. MNR says, how would you teach cocky players humility in a fun and creative way? I don't think it'd be fun, dude. I'm gonna tell you what I do, and I don't know if it's fun or creative. Like, if the players are cocky and they get in over their head, I have no mercy. I just don't. I just like, you guys are being cocky and you're taking on more than you can chew, and you just picked a fight with like a dragon. And he just breathed on you, and you took 70 points of damage, and you're level 3. You're dead. I mean, what do you want? Like, what do you want me to do here, you guys? You guys got to use your braids. If you wanted to, I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, take him captive, you know, or something. Or just have the bad guy beat him up and thrash him to teach him a lesson or something. You know, you could do that. Is it fun? Is it creative? It's not creative because people have Those are like very common answers to that question. It's not creative. I am not good at generating creativity on a live stream. I'm going to be honest with you. If I am trying to come up with a creative idea, I need to go think about it for a while. When I'm showering, when I'm brushing my teeth, I need to like let the wheels turn. You know what I mean? Hey, Ver. Thank you for becoming a Wormling Dragon. Appreciate it. I thought you were already or were you a patron? You were something, Ver. I know. You were something. I know you were. Make sure you like you get member perks and crap, little cool things. Make sure you send me a DM. Oh, you wanted to get the emotes. Oh, okay, cool. Send me if you would still send me a direct message on my Discord server. There's a link below. You're on my Discord server. You already know this. Send me a DM just so I can give you like I need to add a couple things to your like thing. I don't know what they call it. Just send me a DM, dude. And I appreciate it, man. Thanks for supporting the channel. Robert, so that means shower stream confirmed? Yes, shower stream confirmed. Next week, everybody. Like, how do I get this set up? How do I get this set up right here into the shower? You know, I don't know. I don't think that would work. I think most of the equipment that I use for streaming would be adversely affected by water. Besides the fact that I would probably lose my entire channel if I were to do that. I mean, I hope that people lose their channels for doing crap like that. Human Soul, do I have any tips for naming my guilds and factions? Yeah, fantasynamegenerators.com. That's what I use. On stream, right here, all of the community is going to like throw out names and we'll pick a cool one. I do not waste my time trying to be creative with names. It's not actually a waste of time. Having a cool name is cool. It's not a waste of time. I should probably say that I just don't have the time or patience or creativity to. I usually just use a random name generator I just do a Google search. So that's it. Hey Zub, what up, dude? How you doing? Schmeckles says, how would you even do a cat cam? Oh, dude, it would be crazy. The cats would be like, they'd be like jumping off the walls and stuff, like scratching and clawing, dude. Oh, yeah, that would be nuts. They'd probably go all the way up. The shower is like this stand-up shower with tiles and stuff and a glass door, but the glass door doesn't go all the way to the ceiling. So they'd probably figure out a way to do like a DC 30 acrobatics check to like jump off the walls, get over the glass door, and like escape. And I may or may not survive that experience, which is why I'm super hesitant to do that. Cervix says, I got complaints recently from a player about my battles being too hard. His reasoning was they end up using too many resources to progress in the dungeon. So, dude, that is something to be considered. You definitely you have to the way dungeons the way adventures, and Cecil, thank you sir for the $5. I'm gonna get back to you in just a moment. And somebody like yell at me if I forget. I'm sorry, it's probably Cecil. I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong. Thanks, buddy, though. I'll get back to you. If I don't, somebody yell at me. So like you need to, like, you're running the dungeon. The way dungeons are designed is that each encounter just depletes their resources a little bit more. And it needs to be that way, because if they just have all of their resources at the final boss battle, will probably be pretty lame. So like that's dungeon design, to deplete the resources, but there is a line to walk between depleting too many and depleting too few. You know, I usually err on the side of depleting more resources so that they're forced to take short rests or even hazard a long rest in a dungeon, and then I just play it by ear. Like, I have allowed players to take long rests in the middle of the dungeon when they were going through like a whole crap load of bad stuff and they were just having to deplete their resources to stay alive, and I saw that, wow, I really threw a bunch of hard stuff at them. And then they're all just like, if we go into the last boss battle, we're screwed. And they take a long rest or something, you know? And I'm just like, that's okay. Because I kind of did that to them. That was kind of my fault, you know? So like, yeah, there is an adventuring day mechanic in the Dungeon Master Guide that explains to you how many adjusted experience points you're supposed to have in one adventuring day. That assumes they'll take 2 short rests and no long rests, you know. But dude, it's just it's a tightrope you're walking, dude. I mean, you got to play it by ear. I would ask your other players. Don't just go off from what one player thinks. Ask your other players, like maybe privately, see what they think. You know, it could just be one player is a crybaby, you know, and the other players are cool with it. You don't know. I would get a group idea, you know, see what everybody thinks. And if everybody's like, yeah, dude, your Vic, your stuff is super hard, back off a little bit, you know. You want your players to be having fun. So if you get this sense that people aren't having fun, you know, and remember too, you want variety. Some encounters should be easy. Some encounters should be harder. Some encounters should be, holy crap, we're gonna die, we gotta figure this out, you know? Like, you want variety. Not everything can be like super, super hard. The easy stuff is fun, they get to trounce the enemy, you know? And then the hard stuff, they have to really work for it. So variety is good too. Vil says, what do I think about sacrifice magic? Sure. If you're going to sacrifice hit points, then maybe that somehow makes the spell a little bit more powerful. You know, don't get crazy. But yeah, it's a cool mechanic. The players have to make a choice. I can empower my spell a little bit by spending a little bit of my health. You know, that might be something that a warlock does. You know, just like a little, you know, a little bit of blood, and then the spell gains an extra die of damage. You know, he does 1d8 damage to himself or something, or 1d6, I don't know, and then the spell gains an extra die of damage. You know, there's a trade-off. It gives meaningful choices, and that's interesting. Oh, Cecil. Oh, my bad. Thank you for yelling at me, penguin butt. Cecil says, a villain is stealing magic from people. What should I keep in mind when homebrewing the effects on the people? I don't know, dude. What could be possible effects of magic being stolen from people? They're more lethargic, you know, they forget things. A part of their soul is being taken out of them. Their hit point maximum is reduced. I mean, they you know, they feel like something's missing from their lives. You know, like something was here yesterday. It's like in Star Wars where when what was it, Alderaan was blowing up and Obi-Wan Kenobi like kind of paused and sat down, and then Luke's like, what's up? And he's like, I felt like a great many voices just cried out in fear or whatever, and then were silenced. You know, like if magic is being stolen from you, you're gonna feel effects of it. You know, I'm not gonna give you all the answers. It's up to you to brainstorm the mechanics that would correspond to that. You know, when you're showering, when you're brushing your teeth, just noodle that stuff over in your brain, you know? And my phone's going off. Dito, I wasn't going to talk about the new Star Wars movies. Dito, until you said something, I wasn't going to say anything about the new Star Wars movies being flaming piles of rubbish. I was totally not going to rant about how horrible they are. I wasn't going to talk about how Disney is ruining I wasn't going to talk about any of that. I was simply talking about a specific scene from one of the movies. And Dito, you brought this up. You brought this upon yourself. You have no one to blame but yourself. Bayo, it has begun. It begins. No, I'm ending it right there. I just want Dito to know that he's responsible for that. That's all. That is all. All right, cool. Let's take a quick moment here to thank all the awesome people that support the channel, make things possible around here. My awesome patrons and members. All these folks in red give it a higher level, and so they get voiced shout outs where I read their names. But yeah, I'm kind of joking around here, but I am very, very thankful for these folks. Let's start at the end, because I usually start at the beginning and then rush it. Zub the Zombie, he was here. I saw him in here. What up, dude? Yo, Kai. Ver's in the house. Hey, dude. Theta Tag. Theen, I saw Theen around here. What up, dude? Tactical Tokens. Son of a Sofa Man. Sophia W, Rainier the Conqueror, Patrick C, Mr. T. Is Mr. T in the house? Mr. T. Oh, Rainier's here too. Cool, cool, cool. Mr. Lemon Pie, Mirador, Malkuth, Kurt Y, Joseph H, Joe Doe 1025. Yeah, Thien is always here. I know. Joe M, Iron Lord 79, Celestea, Clammed Oyster, Bewitched Gamer, Baobon. Hey, what up, dude? And Artemis Themp. Thanks, guys, for the awesome things you do. I do appreciate it. Hey, Rebecca, what's going on? How you doing? You like the prequels solely for Jigan Jin? I can't pronounce that. Barking Cricket's like, everyone hit like. Smash that thumbs up button. Roll a crit on that subscribe button down below. I used to say stupid stuff like that all the time in my videos. And then I was like, that's stupid. I should stop doing that. Red Leader standing by. Nice. We just stirred up a whole storm. Everybody just started talking about Star Wars and the prequels and stuff. It's like this just got the Hornet's Nest all mixed up. You guys, I heard there's like killer bees now, like killer hornets or something. I saw something on like, was it YouTube News? Apparently YouTube is getting to the news business, and there's stuff on their homepage from like news sources. And yeah. What was it, in Washington or something? Murder hornets. Is that what they're calling them, dude? Wow. They're killer to honeybees? Wow. Ixkip says, I personally miss the old cheesy Luke. Well, you know. The old cheesy Luke leveled up. I guess. Or changed. Or took a class change or something. I don't know. Vera says, how do you handle diseases in your campaigns? I don't use diseases much at all, dude. Honestly. Do you make your heroes get diseases from time to time? Not really. I just kind of don't. Sorry. It'd probably be a good idea. It'd probably be interesting. It'd probably make things more interesting, but I just don't. And that's not to say it's not good. It's just to say that, you know, I don't know. Call me lazy. There was a guy that made a video ranting about lazy dungeon masters a few weeks ago. I should probably go watch that video. Robert says, have you ever looked back and disagreed with something you said in a previous video? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, what happens, Robert, like what happens is, I will have thoughts on a matter, and I'll think that my thoughts are accurate. I'll put a video out there, you know, and then I'll be reading comments. I read a lot of the comments. I can't read all of them, but I'll be reading comments, and then people will bring up really good points, and I'll be like, oh, I didn't think of that. And so my thoughts and feelings about things will shift a little bit, you know? So yeah, there are definitely things I've said in previous videos where I look back on, I'm like, meh, I don't think I agree with that anymore. People should always be open to listening to other people's thoughts and opinions and perspectives on things, because it can inform their own, you know? Like, it'd be incredibly arrogant and dumb of me to think that I'm right about everything and that nobody else can teach me anything, you know? And so, like, yeah. But it takes logic and reason to convince me of things, right? The person who just yells and screams the loudest, that person doesn't convince me of anything. They just convince me that they're an idiot. Philip Ketchup, what's a monster you haven't thrown at your players but really want to? Every single monster in the Monster Manual, the Volo's Guide to Monsters, and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes that I haven't used yet. Those are the ones. Sean Hannon says, what are your thoughts on different types of mounts and modes of transportation being used in the world? Even just going on a single route between two locations by, say, riding giant moles. What are my thoughts on that? I don't think a lot about that. I let my players think about that. That, like, that's my player's job. What I do is I create the adventures. I create the situations. I create the plot hooks. I create the problems in the world. I create the central tension and all of this types of stuff. It's up to my players to say, oh, hey, instead of just walking to the next town, let's go get a horse. Oh, hey, you know what? Let's name that horse Mercedes. Oh, hey, I'm a cheapskate, so I want to go try to get that horse at a reduced price. Okay, now it's Nag, and it's a broken down old horse. And I want to get a cart too. Okay, great. At a reduced price, it's going to be a crappy cart. Okay, now we have a broken down Nag Mercedes, and we have a beat up old cart. And then it's up to the players to say, you know what? We're tired of, we have a reputation to maintain. We're tired of driving around in this horse and cart. We want a wagon. Let's get a wagon. Let's get a stagecoach like wagon, a very, very nice type of wagon. But you know what? Again, reputation. So let's also brand the name of our adventuring group on the side of that wagon. You know, let's put our motto on the side of that wagon too. That way, no matter where we go, everybody knows that it's us, that it's Harlequin's Blades. Let's just brand that right there. And let's like drive around in style, you know? Then of course, it's up to me to determine that now everybody is aware of where they went and who they are and stuff. And if they happen to do bad things here or there, people will know who did it. So I leave that up to my players' creativity to figure that stuff out. And if they wanted to like find a giant mole and tame it, then that could be a quest they go on. Or it could be a downtime activity. It's a class feature. Bayoban is defending that whole story because he was in that game. He's in that game with my Ancient Dragon patrons who play that. Gaming Anime says, I'm going to DM a one-on-one. Is it appropriate to make a DM PC? Sure, no problem. It's a one-on-one, dude. I played with my daughter. It was just my daughter and I for like almost 2 years. She ran 2 PCs. I ran 2 PCs. It's my daughter, you know. You could have your player run 2 PCs and then maybe you run one. But here's a pro tip. Don't make an actual PC character sheet. Make it an NPC. Find a stat block in the back of the monster manual that is like a stat block of like, I don't know, a thug or a knight or something. And then that's what you run in the game. Don't get a whole character sheet. They're too complicated. You got a whole bunch of other crap to do in the game. You do not have time to figure out a character sheet. Character sheets are complex and they were made for a player who has nothing else to do but run that character. A dungeon master gets little stat blocks because he's got a whole bunch of crap to do. And he needs stat blocks that boil things down and give him the basic facts, instead of a character sheet you gotta flip through and crap. So, that is my recommendation. So I wouldn't call it a DMPC at that point. I would call it an NPC, probably. Yes, Master TMO. This will be on YouTube. Yeah, it'll be available to watch. You can catch it tomorrow or whenever. I don't take them down. Unless I say something like horrible and I'm just like, Luke. Has it happened yet? The theater guy. Do you think a certain race or class is overplayed, or should players just be able to play what suits them? I'll answer the first question first. Yes, players should just be allowed to play what they want. They're there to have fun. Okay, so yeah. Within reason, I don't allow homebrew bullcrap. Most homebrew bullcrap off the internet is 100% broken. Okay, 90% of it's garbage. It's not garbage. It's broken. It's overpowered. Okay, so no, you're not just gonna grab stuff off the internet and use it. Okay, if it's official Wizards of the Coast content, or it's something else that I approve of ahead of time, then yeah, I want you to be able to play something that you like and that you enjoy. You know, and the second part of your question, I gotta scroll back up. Is there a certain race or class that's overplayed? Yes, the Warlock splash. Everybody's like, I'm gonna splash 2 Warlock. It's like, that's overdone. Like, a paladin sorcerer warlock, a warlock sorcerer. You know, a bard sorcerer, a bard warlock. It's like everybody is like splashing warlock, and warlock is good for nothing but splashing almost. So yes, that is way overdone. Does it annoy me when my players come with like a 2 warlock splash? Whatever, I don't care. Is it overdone? Yep. Is it medic? Is it min maxing? Yep. But like, I don't care if they're having fun. Like, it doesn't bother me. Do you think, Sir Vic says, do you think they'll ever start to develop 6E anytime soon? Of course they will. It's a marketing thing. Once they've determined that the market has been saturated with 5th edition and it's time to create a new edition, they'll create a new edition. It's 100% has to do with sales, marketing, and business strategy. And customers. Like if customers are loving 5th edition and sales are doing super well, and they predict that sales will continue to do super well, they'll keep on with 5th edition. But the moment that it is a good business decision to do 6th edition, they will do 6th edition. It has to do with, it's business. It's pure business. Mr. T! What up, dude? Thank you, sir, for the $25. 25A? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. One of these days, I'll memorize all the world denominations and I'll know what it means. But today is not that day. Mr. T says, with fashion favor, I use a job board where they can go and pick different types of missions varying from very easy to very hard, with a gain of 0.5 to 2. Faction favor? Yeah, that's cool. I'm actually, yeah, my thoughts are that that's good. You're giving your players lots of choices, and choices are good. Players like choices. As long as there aren't too many choices, because then they can't make decisions. And then you're gonna sit at the game table for an hour while they're like, I don't know, what are we gonna do? Which one are we gonna pick? So too many choices is bad. You want to give them just enough choices, but choices are good. They can decide between different missions to go on. That's good. Players are gonna enjoy that freedom. The fact that some of them are easy and some are hard gives them the ability to choose what they're feeling like. Do they want to be challenged or not? Now, the ones that are more hard give them better rewards. That's a good choice. But the ones that are easy give them less rewards. Those are all great choices to put in front of your players. Those are my thoughts. And thank you, sir, for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Sinlock Cantrell says, is Eberron worth it? Where is this? Ah! Ah! We are going to look at Eberron. We're going to go to my desk view. I'm going to move my dice tray out of the way. There's my keyboard. But I have a book. You're not going to be able to see a whole lot of this because it's not the proper distance. I wasn't planning on showing you a book. But I am kind of set up for it to a degree. So this is the alternate cover. Holy crap, I love the alternate covers. I will pay $50 every day of the week to get an alternate cover over the $30 I could pay for the standard cover. They are so worth it to me. I love these things. So, like, short answer to your question, oh, this exposure is really bad. You're not going to be able to see anything here. Let me see if I can fix that. I'm going to pop the exposure down for you. I just want to show you the table of contents, dude. I think it's worth it. I glanced over it. I thought it was pretty cool. Hold on a second. Let me find my proper... I gotta lower the exposure on this camera. That's the wrong one. Discard. Discard. Minicam? Is this the one? Where's my stupid camera? Ah! I don't think that's it. Oh, man. Okay, you know what? That didn't work. I'm not going to sit here and goof with it. I can't find the proper setting. All right, I'm just going to tell you what's in here. I was all excited. Oh, you know what I can do? Hold on a second. I'm a moron. What we can do, go to D&D Beyond, and then I can just show you source books. Source, Eberron. Where's Eberron? Eberron. And, okay, so, first of all, you got like some. I think Shifter and Warforged and Kalashtar are new races, so you're gonna get a couple new races. These Dragon Mark things are like they're kind of like feats in a way. They give you special abilities and stuff. They're pretty cool. Artificer, you get a brand new class, Artificer. I haven't read this one quite yet, so I'm not quite certain how it works, but I think you get to make kind of like your own magic items, kind of, I think is how it works. But don't quote me on that. I haven't actually read the book yet. I'm just going based off the Unearthed Arcana one that I found. And then you're gonna get like the entire world, different parts of the world. So it's gonna give you an overview of that stuff. Then you're gonna get this Shard City of Towers. I'm not super familiar with this. I think this is like a big, massive city. So I think you get a big city out of it. And then you have like some guides on building adventures, and then you have like some adventures. I think you have like one adventure or something. You know, there's like a sample adventure for you, you know. And then you have a bunch of like Eberron specific monsters and stuff. So for me personally, I thought this was really cool. I was pretty stoked when I read through this. So, but that said, I haven't actually read the book. I'm currently trying to read Curse of Strahd because I'm about ready to run a game. So this is just my first impressions based upon like a 10-second flip through and reading the table of contents. It looked pretty cool to me. But my perspective is not probably the best one. It's just my first impressions. David Moran has it and loves it. Cool. I mean, you guys, it's like, it's gotta be better. It's gotta be better than this piece of crap right here. This like 100-page, 150-page book for $40. Whereas with the Eberron book, you got like over 300 pages for $50. This is beefy. You actually get a bunch of junk in here. This right here is kind of pathetic, in all honesty. So they definitely, I think, learned their lesson from the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. Yeah. Silva says Eberron has a lot in it. Goodbye. Cool. Yeah, I think the game setting or the world setting or whatever of Eberron is pretty cool. I think Eberron's pretty cool. I like Eberron. Chris Cornier says talk more about Curse of Strahd. I've read through Barovia. I've read through the entire castle, Strahd's castle, and I'm starting to read through Death House. You want to know something about Curse of Strahd? Okay, this ticks me off so bad. I'm reading through Death House. This just makes me so mad. There's no read aloud text. No read aloud text. Like, now that's not the whole module. That's just Death House. The rest of the module has read aloud text. Look at this. Look at that. You see the darker boxes? That's the read aloud text. Okay? That's the read aloud text. It is so lazy to not put read aloud text in a module, and it makes it so much harder for a dungeon master to run a module when there is not read aloud text. When I started reading Death House, it's good to read. It's easy for me to read. Like, if I'm just gonna sit down and read it, you know, it makes for an easy read. But when I actually get to the game table and I have to run this for my players, it makes it really hard to run the game when they don't give you read aloud text. And it really, because it mixes together the things you're supposed to tell your players and the things you're not supposed to tell them that they might find by like investigating or something. And so it makes it more difficult. It makes it exponentially more difficult to run the game. And it really ticks me off. They did the same thing with some of the Volo's Tales from the Yawning Portal. Some of those adventures don't have read aloud text. It's lazy writing. I get it's a lot more effort. I write my own adventures, you guys. I have stuff published over on Drive-Thru-RPG. Okay, I publish lots of free adventures over on my site, thedmlayer.com, that you can get and use. So I know that it takes a lot of. I am a professional writer. Like, my day job until like about 5 months ago was writing. That's what I did. And I'm in the process of getting together a Kickstarter to publish my own module, you know, and stuff. So I know that it takes a lot more effort to write read aloud text because I've done it before and I've not done it before, and I get that it's easier not to. But when you're producing a professional book as a professional company, like, my expectations are higher, you know? So I just spent like 5 minutes ripping on the laziness of the read aloud text here. Overall, though, it's still a great module, you guys. Despite the fact that some dude in a suit made a really bad business decision to not do like read aloud text, that's going to piss off a lot of people because it makes their lives harder. This is a great module. This is amazing module. I love it. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. It is a sandbox. It's so sandboxy. So sandboxy. So this is why, like, I'm trying to read most of this module before I run it for my players. With most modules, you don't got to read the whole stupid module before you run it. Okay, I actually have a video coming out soon about how to prepare to run a module. And usually you don't got to read the whole module. Like, you go on Reddit and people be like, I've never run a module before. What should I do? And people are like, read the whole module all the way through. And then somebody responds like, actually, it's better to read it twice before you run it. And that's really bad advice. Now, for the Curse of Strahd, it's not that bad of advice because it's so sandboxy. The players can go anywhere. Although the Dungeon Master can control that a little bit by the plot hooks that he gives out, right? Anyway, I'm way off into La La Land with that answer. Oh, man. Storm King's Thunder is very sandboxy. Yeah, Candace, Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. I'm going to pull this up on D&D Beyond, because that way you guys can actually see it a little bit better. There's a whole segment to it that's super sandboxy. There's nothing wrong with having a module that's sandboxy. It's a lot harder to run. It's a lot more difficult for a Dungeon Master to run. Come on, where's my source? Adventures, Storm King's Thunder. I should probably show you my screen. So, this whole chapter right here, chapter 3, is the Savage Frontier. And like, each of these right here is a location in the Forgotten Realms. Okay? This whole chapter 3, I'm gonna click one of these locations, Loudwater. Here, I get a description of this location, and then I get, like, you know, an encounter with this mage that they might go into. I get a description of Lurkwood. I get a description of the city of Luskan. And then I get, like, a sample encounter, something they might come across in that city. Like, this is an entire chapter of the book where your players can just, my understanding is, I could be wrong, just basically wander around. That's the chapter. Hey guys, here's a bunch of places you can go. Just feel free to wander around. Just wander around. That's the chapter. I don't need a module. That's like a campaign setting that I could just be like, okay guys, go wander around. I don't know, man. It doesn't inspire me. I don't know. It's unique. I haven't seen that done in a module before. But when I saw it, my first impressions were like, what am I going to do with this guy? What? You know what I'm actually going to do with that? What I'm actually going to do with that, if I ever run that, is like, I will give them 3 locations out of that entire list. And then I'll have to flesh out something that will actually happen there. I'll take their starter idea and I'll flesh it out. And that'll be what I actually run for my players. Which means that most of those things are things I will never use. And in all honesty, am I going to read through 100 pages of ideas and pick 3 of them that I'm actually going to use? That seems like a lot of work with very low payout. I don't know. Stream Elements is like recommending you guys get my merch, and Danny is thanking Elements. That's awesome. Danny is our resident merch plugger. Yeah, you guys can buy t-shirts and stuff down below with my my logo on them. I have a coffee cup. The stupid Spring Tea's coffee cup is so dumb. Like, don't buy the coffee cup. I actually have the coffee cup pinned to the top of the chat. Look at how dumb this coffee cup is. You guys, look at the stupid coffee cup. Like, the handle is white, and then the outside of the cup. So, like, this is not it, obviously. If I could sell this, then that'd be awesome. The handle is white. The cup itself is black, and then the inside is white too. It's so dumb. Like, that would look so slick if the entire cup were black. The outside, oh, and if I could make the inside red, can you imagine how cool that would be? Outside totally black, including the handle, logo, inside red. Oh my gosh, that would look so cool. That would look cool. Don't buy the mug, you guys. Don't buy the mug. Oh, Ed Robinson's getting a hoodie? Cool, dude. I have a shirt. I got a shirt off from there because I wanted to see what quality they were and stuff. And it was really good quality. It's a good premium t-shirt. Because sometimes you like this shirt right here. This is a cheap shirt, you guys. I'm wearing kind of a cheap shirt. Right, this right here, it's very thin. You know, you can just tell it's not quality. You know, now the pants, the jogging pants I have on, really nice quality. But this is a cheap shirt. My logo shirt, bullcrap, hoodies and crap are pretty decent. Daddy's like, what is Daddy saying? The bot's more enthusiastic than I am. I need to shut up. I'm ruining my own merch plug. I'm just being honest. Danny. No, Danny, it was a great idea. The idea for the mug was awesome, Danny. So don't get upset. I'm just saying that Teespring, their options suck for customizing it and making it what it should be. Thien is leaving? Why? All right, cool. See you, Thien. All right. Coal Soak. Is there any other areas of Forgotten Realms you want to see outside the Sword Coast? I don't know. I have the entire second edition campaign setting, so it has the entire Forgotten Realms in it, pretty much. And so that's what I use. I feel like the Sword Coast should be expanded a little bit more is all. It should include everything. The Dale Lands are cool. The Dale Lands are in the second editions. Yeah. Like, if you guys go on Amazon or eBay, you can find the second edition campaign setting. This is really good. And it has the Dale Lands, it has the Inner Sea, it has all that stuff. And it's got good maps. The maps in here are spectacular. Full page, full color maps and stuff. So it's really good. I don't really use curses a whole lot in my games. Overclock 2020 says, "Hey Luke, I'm making a homebrew world from the group up for my upcoming game. My deadline is about 2 months. Any tips to get started?" A homebrew world? Dude, you're making a homebrew world? Yeah, so you have 2 months. You have to focus on the area that the adventure starts in. Like the town that they're going to start in, that's what you start fleshing out. Just the town. And then maybe one location nearby where an adventure takes place. That's it. You focus on that little bit of the world. And then they'll go on that little adventure. They'll poke around the town, they'll go on that adventure. And then you build on that. You flesh out an area over here that they'll go to, that you'll give them a hook to, an area over here. You slowly flesh out the world, expanding out from like your center point. That's what you would do. Because building an entire world is a lot of work. So focus on the most important parts. And what are the most important parts? Where your players are going to be. So you probably want to have like an overarching idea of the game world. Maybe some of the countries that are out there and organizations. But like at a high level. You don't want to flesh out the details too much. Ed Robinson, thank you, sir, for the $5. What is the biggest mistake you think you've ever made as a DM? What did you learn from it? Saying no when I should have said I hate the yes but crap. I do it, I believe in it, but I think it's a trite response. I hear people give that recommendation too much and it annoys me. I believe in it, I think it's good advice, but I'm gonna give you a better explanation than just yes but. I've said no, and what I should have done is instead of just my players like, I want to like, what did he tell me once? He's like, I want to block the door from opening or somehow stop the door from opening. And I was like, no, you can't do that. And it was the dumbest. It's like, why would I do that? What I should have said is, okay, how do you do that? How do you go about doing that? And then, because it was a stone door that swung on a central pivot, right? And he wanted to somehow like stop it from opening. And I just said, no, you can't. It's not possible. And what I should have said is, how do you do that? And then he might have had a creative idea. He might have had a way that it was possible. And then I would have been like, oh, okay. Yeah, you could try that. But instead, I rejected the idea outright, and I just shut him down. And that is one of the things that most I regret, is when I just shut players down and I don't give them a chance to like elaborate on their idea and why it might work. You know, those are the things I regret. And it seems like little things, I guess, but those are the things that I regret. Hey Shaz, what up, dude? Cats. There are a couple cats down here. That's Squeaky and Squirty Pie. I guarantee you they're gonna start fighting a little bit. Well, they're gonna start. There you go. Look at. There goes Squirty Pie. She's going for the throat. It's going pretty well, Shaz. These guys are gonna fight. These guys are so gonna fight. Munchgum says, will we be using story cubes for making our factions and guilds today? Yep, we sure will. I have them all set up. I got them all laid out here, ready to go. And that's why. Oh, look at. Oh, they thought I was jiggling the treats for them. And then I have the dice tray right here. So like, you know, I can roll them and we can see what they are. Look at that. So yeah, we will be using the Rory story cubes today when we're doing our factions and stuff. They're probably gonna go back to. Yeah, they'll probably start fighting here in a little bit. Lore question: what's Mistra's favorite weapon? A staff? I don't know. I'd have to go Google it. I lose that lore question. Everybody's like cats, cat cam. Everybody's yelling at it. By the way, Ed, what I learned from that was don't just say no. Ask them how they try. How would you do that? Okay, how would you do that? Let them try to give me an explanation. A lot of times all it takes for me, if they want to do something that's completely implausible, and instead of saying no, I just say, okay, how would you go about doing that? They'll sit there and they'll think for a while, and then they'll be like, okay, you know what? Never mind. That's probably not possible. But sometimes they have actually a creative idea that I'm like, oh, that is plausible, you know? So that's what I learned from it. The odds of having a cat stream? I mean, we're having a cat stream right now. Like, this is what's going on. We're just watching these guys circle each other. Yeah, these Rory story cubes work so well for our creation stuff. Danny says, hold out a single treat and put them in a large box. The last survivor gets the treat. Robert says, props that I might use for a battlefield. It's terrain. Generally, any sort of terrain. And so if you're in the dungeon, just normal dungeon terrain. Tables, chairs, bookcases, you know, the typical sort of stuff you would find. I like to put like pits like large gaping holes in the ground, not to trap people, not as a trap. It's just there. It's a crevasse or something. And then players might try to push enemies into it. In the outdoors, you have trees and stuff. You can have boulders, rocks, hills, elevated positions, you know, and build those into your combat maps. That way it gives players terrain and something to do. I just had a boss battle. The boss battle for my entire campaign, my Sword Coast Guard campaign. I just had that like a week ago. It's on my second YouTube channel, the DM Lair streams. If you want to watch it, it's down. There's a link down in the description to my second YouTube channel where I put many of my D&D games that I run. And it was. I don't think I did a good job. I think it was underwhelming. I had there be a big open room with no terrain in it. Basically, it was a big open room with no terrain, which I think was lame in retrospect. And I think I made lots of mistakes in that boss battle. It was the final climatic boss battle of my entire campaign that we've been playing for like 2-3 years, and I think I made lots of mistakes on it. And in 2020, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, yep, and that was a mistake. Yep, that was a mistake. And it was not nearly as cool as it could have been. I know for my other campaign, my Hand of Light group, or my Manus Invictus group, that boss fight for that campaign was super cool. That was really amazing, but I think I kind of blew it on my Sword Coast Guard group. I made it into just a hit point battle and a damage battle. That's all it was, and I think that was lame. These are the things that after the fact, like you realize that, and you're just like, how did I do that? Like what was going through my mind that I totally blew that? Because you only have one of those every few years. But it wasn't like, Penguin Butt, thank you, I appreciate it. It wasn't that it was like horrible. It was that it could have been so much better. You know? It was a missed opportunity. It's like if you land a job that pays $100,000 a year and you could have gotten one that paid $1 million. I don't know. Quick example off the top of my mind. And then you're just like, oh, I don't know. So I have little regrets. Are there races or classes that I consider off limits to my players, Sean? No, not really. Mm-mm. As long as it's in Wizards of the Coast official material, then it's cool. I don't use third-party and homebrew stuff. As long as it's in the official stuff, it's usually fine. Don't have a problem with not races or classes. Other than a battle, what would you add to a boss battle? I mean, a little bit of story, a little bit of talk. One thing that I was doing throughout the final boss battle recently was the boss was talking to the players. He was continuing to like taunt them a little bit, but also offer them a position in his empire. He actually didn't want to kill them. Before the boss battle began, he offered them all the choice to join him. Lord Paxton had been trying to get the players to join his side for the entire campaign. He didn't want to kill them. He wanted them to work for him. And he offered them positions as rulers over their own cities, basically, you know, and they refused him. And so throughout the boss battle, especially when people were getting really beat up, he kept offering them again positions in their city and to have their own rulership over a city, you know. And so I was that dialogue, you know, that dialogue going on and continuing to role play that part of the villain during the boss fight, you know, is important, I think, and it makes things more interesting. So that's something to definitely think to include in a boss fight. Hey, Mr. T, thank you, sir, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Says, sorry I forgot in your name, but if you hit me up on Discord, I can help you with creating the custom world. I've been running one in my campaign for the last year and a half. Okay, so Mr. T is... for the person who was saying they were creating a custom homebrew world, that was Overclock 2020. Overclock 2020, hit up Mr. T in my Discord, and he's going to help you out, man. Thanks, Mr. T. And thanks for supporting the channel with your super chat, buddy. Power Amor Meow says, aside from half elf and half orc, what other mixed races would you want? Half elf and half orc, what other mixed races would you want? I don't know. I haven't really thought about that, dude. I'd have to think about it. Most players love... I'm not a player, but most players love options. So you could probably half fae or something. Could be cool. Beoban, what are your thoughts on characters playing flying races, Aarakocra, Sky Elves, etc.? Not at level 1. I think that being able to fly at low levels is very, very, very powerful. It's very, very powerful. So if you want to play a flying race, the flying needs to be something that you come into at a higher level, around 5th level or so. Then flying is a little bit different, you know. It's just that you can overcome so many obstacles and stuff. Flight is a very, very powerful feature. So at low levels, nah. Around 5th level, that's cool. Dragonborn is pretty much half a race already. Yeah, Tashio, it is. Skips says a half halfling. Yeah, half halfling. That's great. What is a half halfling? What is that? A foot? It's like you're a leg, dude. You're a leg. It's just a leg like hopping around. It's got like a dagger sticking out of the top of the leg, and it jumps at people. You know, that's a half halfling. Who won the giveaway? Oh, yeah, who won the giveaway? I mean, I'll read the names to you. I've notified my giveaway winners, so they should all know. Unless they didn't get my notification in Discord. I'll probably have to email. I don't know that I've heard from everybody yet. I've actually only heard from 2 of them. So it's possible the other ones didn't get the message. But basically it was Sintard, Ranwen, Guy Thule, and Sean Douglas. Sean, you're in here. Did you get my message, Sean? I swear, Sean, I saw you here today. Are you here? You won the giveaway to play D&D with me. Ranwen's in here. Cool. Yeah, Ranwen won. Sean Douglas. And then Guy Thule. Yeah. Why is that not there? Huh, that's interesting. Yeah. If I don't see posts from them in the channel I set up for our game, I'll send emails to them, just so they're aware. Hey, Thien, what up, dude? I thought you were leaving, Thien. Thien's like, yeah, I came back. It's Friday night. I'm on quarantine. I have nothing else to do, man. Big Clue. Thanks, buddy. Big Clue says, don't forget to give Luke a thumbs up. Thanks, buddy. Ender Warlock. Hey, what up, man? It's been a while. Since I don't know. Maybe you've been in all my streams, but it's been a while since I've seen your name or something. So it's good to see you. What I'm trying to say is it's good to see you. And now he's gonna be like, Luke, I'm here all the time and you never notice me. And I'm just gonna be like, I'm sorry. Dino Fox disliked it. Hey, you know what, dude? Dino, that's all good. I did diss the Disney Star Wars, and I know you like them. So it's fair for you to dislike it. Hey, Joseph, what up, dude? I've never been able to join the live show. Really enjoyed the videos of the streams. Oh, cool. Glad you like those, dude. I need to get some coffee. Let me go get some coffee real quick. I'll be back in a second. Andrew Beresford says, hey Luke, how goes it? Adding on to what you mentioned about the prison setup, would you agree there comes a point where you have to kind of roll with things as a player? Yeah, you do. Absolutely. That is like, so that's like, Andrew, that's like the social contract between the dungeon master and the players. Like, there needs to be an agreement that the dungeon master is not going to totally screw you over. You need to trust the dungeon master to an extent. You know, like, if you all got captured and everything was taken away and you're put in the prison setup, there needs to be a level of trust that your dungeon master's plan here is not to just screw you all over and have you rot in a cell or be like murdered or something. The plan here is to give you a cool escape scene, an adventure where your whole goal is to escape, get your stuff back, and then probably get revenge. And so there needs to be a trust there. So yes, to a certain extent, the players need to roll with their dungeon masters, and there needs to be that, like, you know, meet me halfway principle there at work. And that is, of course, reliant upon the dungeon master being trustworthy. Because I've played with dungeon master, at least one dungeon master comes to my mind, who was not trustworthy. Nobody would trust him. We were all expecting a DM screw job at any point in time. You know, and so if you want your players to trust you and to roll with it, you need to exhibit character qualities that will, you know, make them feel like they can trust you. And if you don't, and you're a jerkwad, then you shouldn't expect them to trust you. Tashio says, if you were going to kill Luke's character in a one-shot, how would you go about doing it? Okay, so Tashio, he's one of my moderators. I'm going to be playing in a game with him tomorrow. As I'm going to be a player. He's going to be the dungeon master. And he asked the question of how... So let me, you guys, I'm going to be playing with Tashio. Let's brainstorm some ideas for Tashio. How would you, if you were the dungeon master, how would you kill off my character? What would you do to kill my character? Let's give Tashio some ideas here. Ender Warlock says, my DM recently had all of us arrested. We admitted to so many crimes, and at the end he was like, I have no idea how to get you out of this easily. See, that is like, it's not the dungeon master's job to get them out of it. It's not the dungeon master's job. It is I put so many challenges in front of my players, and I do so many horrible, wicked things to my players' characters. I have no idea how they're going to get out of it. Quite frankly, I don't care. That's not my job. My job is to put the scenario there, the situation there, the adventure there. It's my player's job to figure out how they're going to get out of it. That's not up to me. I never try to solve my players' problems, ever. It's not my job. My job is to create their problems. It's their job to use their brains and their creativity and their characters and their abilities and their powers and their spells to figure out how to solve that situation. That's their job. I never solve their problems. I create their problems. Tomfoolery says, every time I underestimate players, they do wacky stuff and overcome with ease. Dude, Tom, you're totally right. Players are amazing. It's amazing what players can figure out and do and accomplish. I have had many times created encounters that I thought would be really hard for them, and then they're not. Which is why I advocate adjusting things on the fly to make encounters dramatically appropriate. Or something like that. That's probably not the right phrasing of that. He dies from dysentery? MNR, how could you be that cruel? What did Cameron say? What was Cameron's idea? I missed it. Cameron said something. I'm actually playing Gary the Rogue. Do you guys want to see my character? I'll show you my character. I'll show you the character that I'm going to play. We're going to go over to D&D Beyond. I made it in D&D Beyond because that's one of the things I love about D&D Beyond. It makes character creation super easy. Let me find my character. My characters. Gary the Rogue. This is my character that I'm going to be playing tomorrow in Tashio's game. Gary the Rogue. This is Gary the Rogue. He is a rogue. He's a level 4 kobold rogue. He is a arcane trickster rogue. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing really special about him. I just like rogues. I really like rogues. There's literally nothing special about him. It doesn't even have a backstory because it's gonna be a one-shot. So that's it. That's my character. I even resisted min-maxing a little bit. Normally, when I would create a rogue, a kobold is not the best race for a rogue. So I resisted my urge to min-max. I'm growing as a player. I just wanted to play a kobold. I thought it was cool. Kobold rogue. Lieutenant Lex says, so my PCs seem to hate all my NPCs. I don't think that I played them cocky or arrogant, but they just don't like them. How can I get my players to like my NPCs and consider working with them? That almost, so like, if you feel that you've been playing them as reasonable and your players just always want to not work with them, I would just ask your players. I would ask them, hey guys, you know, what am I doing here? Like, you know, and see what they think. They might have reasons for it. It might just be they don't care. And they're just like, you know, we just don't feel like it. It's more fun for us to just not work with your NPCs. It's more fun for us to like, you know, do what we're doing. There might not be any rhyme or reason to it. If there is no, you got to figure out what the reason is for what they're doing. Because if they have a reason, if you find out what the reason is, well then you can brainstorm some solutions to that. If they have no reason for it and they're just doing it because for kicks and jollies because it's fun to them, then no matter what you do, you might not have any success. You see what I'm saying? So I would talk to your players. Robert says, would you ever take a leap of faith and put your players in a situation that you wouldn't know? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Squeaky's right here. I don't think I understand that quite. If you want to clarify that, buddy, I'd be happy to help you. All right, D-Dub, see you later, buddy. Thank you for hanging, buddy. Deoban says, talk to the players. It may just be the party build and they want to go kill monsters. Yep, sure could be. You guys, not every, like, all players are different. Some players, so you guys, as much as this might shock some people, like, some players just want to chew bubblegum, kick down doors, and kill monsters. They don't want to do the talky bits. They don't care. They get bored out of their minds when they have to talk to NPCs, and they hate it. There are some players that if you put them on the set of Critical Role and said you are going to be able to be a player on Critical Role, they might not enjoy it because there's too much talking and there's not enough combat and fighting. As crazy as that might be to some people, like, not every game is suited for every group of players. Your players might just not like that stuff. And they might just want to go into a dungeon and kill crap and get magic items and loot and gold. That might be all they care about. And if you sit around talking too much, they're going to get bored. And then they're gonna go on their phones and they're going to build dice towers, you know? So it could just be their own personal preferences. Hey, Vera, see you later. Thanks for hanging with us. Using the emotes. Using the cool emotes. Well done. Melchior says, for all we know, Luke might be a closet brawny. I don't even know what that is. What is a closet brawny? Austin says, what would you say to someone who was wanting to play an elven artificer rogue? Cool. Have fun. I don't place restrictions on my players. If they want to come up with some weird, wacky idea or something that I don't understand, it doesn't matter to me. The player wants to do it. The goal of the game is for everybody to have fun. That's the goal. My goal is for my players to have fun. And when they have fun, I usually have fun. Not always, but usually I have fun. And that's my goal. My goal is for them to have fun. And if he's going to have fun by playing, I'm assuming that an Elven Artificer Rogue doesn't make sense or something, I'm guessing. It doesn't matter to me. They could play it. Even if I think it's dumb, that player likes it, and that player wants to do it, and they think it's cool. Who am I to say that my concept of what is a good PC is better than like theirs? You know what I'm saying? So I would just be like, cool, do it. Let's have fun. Bargain Cricket says, killing Luke's character. Send him to a Care Bear or My Little Pony or Smurf plane. A fate worse than death. I don't know, dude. There are lots of people that like My Little Pony. How do you know? Barking Cricket, how do you know that I'm not one of those dudes that goes to conventions and dresses up as My Little Pony characters? Maybe I'm like a closet My Little Pony fan or something. Like you don't know. You don't know, man. There's a lot that goes on around here that you don't see on camera. Oh, that's what a Brawny is? Oh, okay, cool. That's what a Brawny is. I didn't know that. Well, then I suppose that, since I didn't know that, I suppose that rules out the idea of me being one of those brownies or whatever. Hey, Charles Bader, what up, dude? Thank you, sir, for a $10 super chat. Hope things are going well. I haven't been able to watch live in a while. Thanks for the videos, though. You are very welcome, dude. I'm glad you could join us tonight. Hang out a little bit. Barani. Okay, so people are now correcting my pronunciation of Brawny, and they're telling me that it's Brony. Well, guess what? I'm gonna say Brawny, and there's nothing you can do about it. Pronounce it like pony, but like bro. Brony? Oh, because it's a bro. It's a guy with a pony, or like a fan of a pony or something. Is that what it's supposed to be? Brony? Yeah, I'm gonna say Brawny. It's gonna be Brawny. Sorry. Andrew Orr is like, that was expected. Yeah, it was. How, of course it was expected. How am I not gonna mispronounce something? Hey, you guys, I actually have a camera that shows what's under my desk now. Like, you can see this cat. This is the cat. See the cat? Yeah, you can see him. You can't see it super well. My desktop is glass, so you can see through it. And then you can see this is my camera, and then you can see my microphone that I have like suspended up here too. But you can see my like legs. There's a cat right there. This is Squeaky. He's just under my feet. What Squeaky does is he'll come underneath here. And then he'll start chewing on my toes. That's what he does. He just chews on my toes when he wants attention. Cameron says he loves my mispronunciations alone. They are his signature gag. Oh, dude. I skipped super chat. Oh my gosh. Silva, I am so sorry. My phone is dying, so I wanted to get this out. Faction idea. A guild of vigilante bunks that wear disguises and go around acting like superheroes. Cool. Thank you for the idea. We'll see what we do with it. Silva, I actually have a policy. I have a policy. You may not have known this, so I apologize. But once we get into the creation, this is my official policy. And we're gonna go over it now. It's in yellow. Super chats or cheers do not get your idea picked. Good ideas, not financially backed ones, should bubble to the top. So I'm sorry that I didn't go over this before you super chatted. But it's my policy because I want everybody's idea to get fair consideration. You know what I mean? And so I don't like taking super chatted ideas for our creation times. I do appreciate the support though and the idea. And who knows? We might use it, but I can't offer any promises. Nobody reads the description, dude. People don't read the descriptions of videos. There's no way to avoid this. Like, even if I go over this at like the beginning of the stream, somebody's gonna pop in mid-stream, super chat, and they're not gonna have heard it. Like, you know what I mean? I feel bad about it, but I don't. Yeah. Yeah. No. Power Lex says no pay to win. Yeah, if you want a super chat to ask a question, that's fine, because I can't get to all the questions. But for the idea creation. What's happened before, in all honesty, is this is one of the reasons that I don't want to do super chats for ideas. People have super chatted ideas, and then it was very difficult to develop that idea into something that we could, use and stuff. And it was kind of creatively frustrating, And so I don't want, that's one of the reasons, Part of it is just, I want good ideas to stand on their own, too, and get picked because they're good ideas. Dino Fox says, everyone reads Luke's descriptions. No, dude. You are like one of the few people that read what I actually write in the descriptions. Of course, the description for these videos might be a little different because there are usually links to like the PDFs that I publish and stuff after the fact, so you can get what we create. Okay, Silva. I'm glad you understand. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, you gotta go charge your phone. Go put your phone to charge. Barking Cricket's like, there's descriptions? Yeah, exactly. Andrew Orr says, I'm not the biggest fan of the dice. I do like them. They help avoid spam and helps create a challenge, but slow typers can't contribute ideas quick enough to get them featured. Yeah, it's a drawback. The reason I started using the dice, one of the reasons, Andrew, is what would happen before is people would have their idea, and then when I'd finished fleshing a current idea and we go on to the next one, everybody would just copy paste it, and I'd have a list of 50 ideas, and I'd have to scroll through them and try to find one and read them all, and it was crazy. So it's easier, and it makes us exercise our creativity by rolling the Rory's story cubes and then having to come up with an idea around that. Hey, Cameron Dilbin, thank you. Appreciate the support, $5. Hey, Luke, just wanted to support the channel. Love the content. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Powerlex 2200 says, how do I create a plot hook to get the characters to a new city without involving the main quest? I have tried your videos, but they contradict this. What do you mean? You just create a plot hook, dude. There are two things. There are two things you need for a plot hook. Hold on a second. You need a conflict, a problem in the game world that needs resolving, and then you need a motivating factor. You need a reason for your players to go resolve it, whether it's treasure, doing the good thing. Different things motivate different players. So you create a problem in that city, and then you give your players a motivating factor. Those are the two elements to get them to go to that city. The how you get there and what you come up with specifically is up to you. But those are the two elements you need to get them to go somewhere and do something. Yeah, Penguin, but I love the story cubes more than the spam. Yep. Barking Cricket says the dice make us think. It's a much better challenge. I agree. Yep, they're a creative writing tool. Yes, absolutely. Cameron says the cubes feel more like a mental jungle gym. Hey, dude. Yeah, but you know what? We come up with really good ideas with them. Miguel says, I'm going to run a one-shot for a new group of 6 players, but I've never DM'd for a group that big. Do you have any advice? If it works well, it may become a long-lasting game. 6 players is getting toward a lot, but it's not that bad. I DM'd for 8 last weekend, and that was hard. That was like, I wouldn't want to do 8 players on a long-term basis. 6 is getting up there. It's more challenging for sure. Advice. You're gonna have to help them with 2 things. There are two things when you're running a large group that you're gonna have to help your players with. The first one is making decisions. A small group of players takes a long time to make a decision about what they're gonna do. A larger group of players takes even longer to make a decision. Some players are going to be very invested in the decision-making process, and they're going to be okay with spending a half an hour making a decision. Other players, probably the majority of players, came there to play the game, and making decisions that take that long is really boring to them, and they actually want to play the game. So talking about things and deciding what to do, yes, it is part of the game, but do you really want that to be 80% of the game? Nah, that should be like 5% of the game. Deciding what you're going to do next, it should be like 5% of the game, and the rest of the game should be the other game elements that people find fun. So you're going to have to help them make decisions. This might mean that you might have to give them a friendly push. You know, like on the game I was running last weekend, you had like 8 people, and one person would be like, we should go left, we should go right, no, I think left is good. Well, why don't we just stay here? And then you'd have this banter back and forth, you know? And then I might just say something like, you know, I heard a couple of you say left. So the group goes left, and then they, you know, okay. There would be no strong voices to say no. And so the group goes left. I had to kind of give them a push. Otherwise, what's the alternative? Am I taking away their agency? A little bit, yes. A little bit, yes. I didn't wait for all 8 players to give consensus on which way they were going to go. But what is the alternative? We sit there for an hour and talk about it? That's pretty boring, right? I would rather, there's a balance, right? You got to walk that balance, because if you just say you're all going here and you're all going there, that's lame and dumb, right? There's a balance to be had there, you know, but you might have to give them little pushes to make decisions happen. Otherwise, you could sit there forever talking about it, and that's not that much fun to most players. The other thing, so that's the one, help them make decisions. The other thing is, and you might just explain to them, there's nothing wrong with telling your players, this is what I'm doing. Because this is a big group, and we don't want decision making to take forever, this is something that I'm going to do from time to time when I need to get things moving. And most players are going to be understanding about that, and they're probably going to thank you for it, because you're helping them get to the parts of the game that they enjoy the most, you know? It's okay to explain to your players that meta strategy of how you're running the game. They'll probably appreciate it. Because then they'll understand why you're pushing them a little bit, you know? The second thing you're going to have to help them with is, what was it? Making decisions, and then probably combat. You know, making combat go faster. Because with a large group, one of the things that bogs down big time is combat. Combat takes forever with larger groups. Okay, Danny, see you later. Have fun on your drive. Drink coffee, stay awake. I probably don't have to tell you that. Combat. Taking forever in combat. The biggest thing that slows down combat, the biggest thing, is related to the first part about making decisions. And it's individual players who can't make decisions in combat. When it's their turn, they don't know what they're going to do, and they take too long on their turn deciding what to do. Trying to decide what you're going to do when it's your turn is too late. Players should be thinking about what they're going to do while everybody else is taking their turns. And then when it gets to them, they need to tell you what they're going to do. And then you resolve it, and then you go to the next player. And then you're going to be able to keep them combats moving along as fast as you can in a large group. You know? And again, it's okay to explain that to your players and let them know up front, this is my strategy and this is why I'm doing it. It's so combats don't take 2 hours. Nobody wants to be in a combat that takes 2 hours when it's just like a little, you know, standard combat. It's not the boss fight. A boss fight that takes 2 hours or an entire game session, okay, it's the boss fight. But for your standard little encounters, it shouldn't take that long. So those are the 2 things, dude. And both of them have to do with helping your players make decisions. My go-to when a player cannot make a decision when it's his turn in combat is he gets skipped. He dodges, I say you're taking the dodge action, and I skip him. That's what I do. It keeps things moving along, and you know what? Guess what happens immediately? That player, the next time it's his turn, he knows what he's gonna do. It usually doesn't happen twice that I have to skip a player. But that message needs, that understanding needs to be there that you have a responsibility as a player, and that's because how long does it take all the other players to take their turns? 15, 20 minutes, maybe. Maybe it's 10 minutes. 10 minutes is long enough for a player to figure out what he's going to do in his turn. So you might have to use those techniques, dude. Christopher says, I'm a new DM and I want your advice on how to gain my players' attention to the point they feel comfortable enough to roleplay, because I find this really hard. So don't spam, guys. Please don't spam. Tashio says 30 minutes to an hour is not long for combat. Yeah, it can go that long. It's greater. 30 minutes isn't that bad. 30 minutes is fine. You know, that's normal. If you want your players to feel comfortable doing anything, you as the dungeon master set the example. Talking in funny voices. If you want players to feel comfortable speaking in weird voices, what we call talking in character. By the way, you don't have to talk in weird voices to talk in character. You don't. It's an option. You don't have to do it. But if you want your players to feel comfortable doing it, then you set the example. You talk in funny voices. You just start talking really weird, you know, and you get all excited and stuff. And your players will laugh at you and stuff, but they'll understand that it's kind of okay, that this is what you do, you know? So set the example. And then that'll help your players feel comfortable. I think that's really all you can do, besides, like, if there are players that make fun of other players for doing things, I would get on top of that really quick. Do not allow that crap, you know. Take care of business. But setting the example is usually the best way to go, dude. Yeah. Spammers die. The wrenches will pound you down. Rage Wolf. Like, if you posted a question like 10 minutes ago and I didn't answer it, I don't care if you repost it. But like, if you're posting it every minute, constantly just boom, 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 yeah, we're gonna smoke you with a wrench. All right. But if it's been like 10 minutes, I could have just missed it. So I think it's okay. It's a little bit of okay, a little bit. But don't get nuts on me. If you get nuts, we'll have to go crazy with the wrenches. And my moderators right now are just like, no, Luke, don't. Why did you tell them that? Hey, Layton, what up, dude? Welcome back, man. Handlebar Fox, hey, how you doing, dude? What did Barking Cricket say that you're laughing about? Hold on. What did he say? Crap, I can't find it. I can't find it. Barking Cricket says something funny and now I can't find it. Oh, Rage Wolf has a question. How can I get the players to survive an encounter if they are losing and could potentially TPK them? I've had that happen last week and I made an NPC they knew intervened. Felt cheap. Yeah, it is cheap, dude. It's super cheap. I never do that. I'm not dissing you in what you did, dude. Let's be clear. But you yourself said it felt cheap, and I'm agreeing with you. It is cheap. I never, ever use NPCs to rescue the heroes. It makes the heroes feel weak and pathetic and like wusses because they need some fancy, powerful NPC sent by the dungeon master to save them. So I don't do that. I would rather they die and roll new characters than for me to use an NPC to save them. That said, there are ways you can back off on a combat. I actually made an entire video, it's on my YouTube channel, about how to cultivate the game experience. Like how to adjust the game on the fly. There's an entire video. I think that's the name of it. It's an older video, probably from like a year ago or something. But it's titled something like how to adjust the game on the fly. Or how to adjust combat on the fly during a game. I'll give you a couple quick ideas here, but I made a whole video on it. Because if it's looking to be a TPK, like, it's okay to back off. It's okay to not TPK them. You don't have to be like, nope, I'm playing it straight. You don't have to be that way. Like, you can. There's nothing wrong with, like, from time to time, I see a TPK on the horizon, and I'm just like, you know what? If they TPK, they TPK. I'm going to play the game. I'm going to do my best role-playing the enemies to defeat them. And if they TPK, they TPK. But there are other times where I'm just like, a TPK doesn't feel right here. Like, this is not this was a random encounter. I ambushed them, and I once ambushed my Sword Coast Guard group with 2 Ramarazes and 2 Oni, or Ani, the Ogre Mages. And holy crap, they were about to die in the second round. The first round went by, and it was nasty. I made a whole video about this too. I made a video about this story as well, that I'm telling you right now. It was nasty in the first round. And I was just like, they're gonna die in the second round if I don't do something. My intention was to challenge them with this random encounter, not like murder them all. And so I backed things off a little bit. I made the enemies make decisions that weren't optimal. For instance, the Oni, instead of what they cast, one of them cast Cone of Cold. They were flying above the characters and cast Cone of Cold, so that it hit all of them. And then the Remarazes are immune to cold, so it didn't hurt them. So flying invisible, cast Cone of Cold. They got an ambush round too. The Remarazes were burrowed underneath the ground, sprung up and attacked them. The Oni were invisible and stealthing, so the players got an ambush. They got a surprise round. My monsters got a surprise round. The Remarazes started chewing on them. The Oni started casting Cones of Cold. It was looking very, very bad for my players. And I was just like, holy crap. I was trying to challenge them, not kill them all. And so the Oni, like, they started to take, instead of like attacking them all out, they started to do things like turn invisible, and that was their action. And so they basically didn't get to take an action an entire round. And then what else did I do? There were a few different things I did in that combat to back things off. You could always, when the players were getting depleted, but they had managed to kill one of the Remarazes and one of the Oni. And so the other Oni was like, peace out, I'm getting out of here. I don't want to die too. And so if he had stayed, he might have been able to kill them, but he peaced out. The other thing I did too is the Oni were flying, and it's an innate a magical ability. It's not actually a spell. And one of my characters was like, I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on the Oni to see if I can get him to fall. And I looked at the spell description, I looked at the Oni, and I had decided that probably shouldn't work. It probably wouldn't work. They would probably still be able to fly. But because the battle was going so poorly, I let it work. And the Oni crashed and burned, and they surrounded him and killed him the next round. And so those are just a couple examples of how I backed off mid-combat to make it so that they didn't all die. I don't always do that, but that was a case where I was like, we're gonna not kill them today. Hey guys, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. Minetastic says, for the Raise Dead spell, what is the max amount of bones do you allow for one skeleton? I don't know. Let's go take a look. Let's go to D&D Beyond and see what this looks like. That's the wrong one. Raise Dead? Raise Dead? Raise Dead. All right. This is probably a long spell. The max amount of spell bones do you allow for one skeleton? Like, what are they trying to do? Make a larger one? It says you return a dead creature to life you touch to life, provided that it has been dead no longer than 10 days. Raise Dead. Well, what? Raise Dead. Are you talking about Create Dead or something? Are you talking about the other one? I'm not sure. I don't understand your question. I'm sorry. Can you clarify? In the context of this spell, I no longer understand your question. I think you're trying to say Create Undead. Is that the name of it? What is it called, you guys? Create Undead? I think you're saying Create Undead. I think that's what you mean. Animate Dead? Well, this is Create Undead is 6th level. Oh, so we're talking about Animate Dead? Maybe it's Animate Dead. I don't know. Animate Dead? Let's try that one. 3rd level spell. Creates an undead servant. Choose a pile of bones or a corpse of a small medium within range. You imbue it, blah, 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 blah. It becomes a skeleton, medium size, or a zombie, medium size. So as far as the maximum amount of bones, I don't think it matters. If you're saying the minimum amount of bones, a pile of bones. I don't know. Handful. There's probably got to be enough bones to be a medium-sized creature. Like, if there aren't enough bones there for it to be a medium-sized creature, then it's probably not going to work. But I would tell your player that before he casts the spell. I would say there aren't enough bones. As far as the maximum amount of bones, like, it doesn't matter. If there are too many, then it won't animate all of them. It'll animate just enough to be a skeleton. So I think that's my answer. Animate said, okay, cool. So yeah, we're good. Cervic, question, has a player ever done anything that you instantly shut down? The usual taboo stuff. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever had a player do something that was, like, wildly inappropriate. And I was like, nope, not happening. I don't think so. Not that I recall. Christopher says, why is your live better than your vids? I don't know, dude. You tell me. Christopher, why do you like my live streams more than my normal videos? You tell me. Oh, yeah, Sean. Sean Hannon, 100%. Sean says, if the party is TPK, don't end the campaign. Everyone makes a new character. Time is now 1 month later, with events from the last party failing. The new party faces the villain of this world. Yeah, I agree. I've TPK'd 3 times now in 5th edition. Different groups have TPK'd 3 times now, and in each instance, they just create new characters at the same level they were before, and they just keep playing the game. That's it. I usually don't wait a whole lot of time. I just have them pick it up where they left it off, but you can do it however you want. Robert says, do you like to watch other D&D YouTubers? I know that you watch RuneSmith and David Chappie. I actually don't watch RuneSmith a whole lot. I've watched a couple of videos, and he's very good. The truth is that I don't watch other D&D YouTubers very much at all. I peek on their videos from time to time to see what they're doing, but I don't actually watch them. Like, you know what I mean? I should say, there was one that I used to watch all the time, but then I got disenchanted with the person. And there were things that this person kept doing that I didn't like. And I got frustrated and I stopped watching their stuff. I'm not going to tell you who it is, because that would not be cool. But I used to watch one of them, and then after all, I was like, you know what? I think I'm done here. But I'll tell you what, dude. I will tell you what. You guys, have you seen XP to Level 3's recent video? Like, holy crap. Let me go find it. I can't actually show it to you because he owns the copyrights on it. Laughing my stinking butt off. Holy crap. Where is this guy's video? I forget the name of it. His skits are so freaking funny. Magic Missile. You guys, his video, Magic Missile, oh my gosh, you guys gotta watch that video. It was so hilarious. I watched it this morning. I messaged my friend John, and I was like, holy crap, this video is so good. It's this one right here, Magic Missile. His skits are amazing. I love that crap. So I'll probably start watching all of his skits because they're just really good. They're funny. They're hilarious. The Captain Chunk. No, it was not Dawnforge cast. Okay, I'm not even gonna rule people out, because if I start ruling people out, then you're gonna be able to narrow it down to who it was. So I'm not gonna. No more further comments on that. If you ask me in person, I'll tell you in person, but I will not comment on the record, because that's not professional. It's probably not professional to say in person either. Rebecca, can you tell us the things you didn't like were, or would that give them away? So there are two things I don't like. I don't think this would give them away. I don't think this would give them away because lots of people do this. Excessive swearing. Excessive swearing. Can't take it. I can't take it. It bothers me. You know, most of the stuff that I listen to, the people don't swear. I don't mind it occasionally, you know, but if you do it too much, it's like, I gotta go. I don't want to listen to it. You know, it's like you don't need to, dude. Just speak intelligibly without using F-bombs all the time and stuff. It's not needed. And the other thing is like belching into the mic. Can't take it. Cannot take it. If you're just gonna randomly belch out something into the mic, I'm gonna peace out. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's disgusting as crap. I can't do it. So those are two things that any YouTube video will cause me to peace out. The exception to this, there are two exceptions. I will admit there are two exceptions. Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan's podcast. Joe Rogan, his podcast is so amazing. And he interviews so many different people and he gets so many different perspectives and stuff. And Joe Rogan does such a great job on his podcast interviewing people. He brings people on that you can tell he doesn't agree with, and yet he will still have a very good conversation with them, and he is not aggressive and antagonistic. He is there. He is such a good podcaster. So amazing. He does use adult language, you know, but it's not like, I would say that Joe Rogan uses it like to emphasize what he's saying. There are some people that use adult language just excessively for no reason. You know, they're just like F, mother, all over the place, you know, for no rhyme or reason. You know, Joe Rogan seems to use it a little bit more to emphasize his points, but he also tailors his language to who his guest is. Like, he doesn't use colorful language with all of his guests. There are some guests that you can tell that he's not doing it. He is changing what he's doing based upon who he has on his show. He's really good, you guys. He's a great... I think he's got to be like the largest podcast that's out there. Like, he put a video out yesterday that was out for not even a day and it had like crazy millions of views. It was nuts. So... And then Gary Vaynerchuk is the other guy that I listen to from time to time. And he drops the F-bomb all the time. Ender Warlock says, now we know how to kill Luke's character, a constantly swearing banshee. Are there any good D&D podcasts you recommend? I don't listen to D&D podcasts. Total Biscuit. I'm not familiar with that. Yeah, Cameron likes Joe Rogan. He's so good. I love Joe Rogan. I mean, I love mixed martial arts too. So the fact that he doesn't fight in like the UFC and crap like that, but the fact that he is in that world and can talk intelligently about that stuff is good too, because that interests me as well. And a lot of the people that he brings on his show are mixed martial artists, you know. So that's those are fun conversations, you know. So I enjoy that stuff too. Let's go MMA in the house. Is there a limit to how many questions we may ask? Power Lex, you just used one of your questions up. No, there's no limit. Oh, it's 8 o'clock though. We're supposed to start creating stuff. Yeah, it's about time for us to create stuff on stream. We're gonna create factions and guilds and stuff. So we just spent a couple hours just like chatting it up. So we should probably make some stuff. I missed all your questions, Theen. I'm sorry. Well, Theen, you're in the VIP lounge over on my Discord, so like you can ask me questions over there. That's one of your perks for being a channel member, dude. You have 8? 3? You guys are like speculating on the number of questions that you're allowed to answer. That's funny. Rebecca says, if I have some friends who want to play but learn better visually, is there any video guide you would recommend for new players? I'm not familiar enough with that stuff to recommend something to you, in all honesty. I'm sorry. I know Critical Role was doing, like, what did they call those things? The helper, cookbook helper, the DM helper. What did they call those? You guys help me out. They were doing some stuff that was like teaching the game, basically. The handbook helper. There you go. Maybe those. Rebecca, try those out. I've seen a few of those. They seemed... It's been a long time since I watched them, so I probably can't actually give you my thoughts on them. But I know that they were doing them. So that might be something to look at. All right, cool. Let's do this. We are going to create some adventures together. Not adventures. We're going to create factions and guilds and stuff together. So basically, I have like a little template here. We're gonna make a description. Actually, we have a process. First of all, super chats don't get your idea picked. Good ideas are gonna percolate to the top based on their own merit. The process is to roll some Rory's story cubes, and then we're going to brainstorm based upon the results of the cubes. You know, we're going to brainstorm a group or faction and a guild, organization, whatever. And then we're going to, determine specific details about it. I have some guidelines up here, things for us to consider. And then we're going to name it. And as always, everything that we create is going to be available for free over on my site, thedmlair.com. After this, usually tomorrow morning is when I get all that uploaded. It's a lot of work. I usually go to bed first, and then I do it tomorrow morning. So yeah, yep. I'm going to bring on Larry because we're going to take a quick intermission break. I'm going to go bio, get some more coffee, and then we'll get rolling. So yeah, here's Larry. And whoops, I'm pushing the wrong buttons around here. And I'll be back shortly. Hey guys, I'm really sorry. One of my cats is sick, and she is it looks like she's struggling to breathe. So I gotta end the stream. I'm gonna go take care of a sick cat. I just lost a cat that was sick, so I have to go take care of this one. So I really apologize to end the stream early. But yeah, she's not doing well. So I will see you guys. I will be streaming probably on Monday over on Twitch. So I'll see you Monday on Twitch. Sorry guys, gotta go. Sorry. It is what it is.